Shemel Shai. Yahweh Shemel Shai. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai.
Shah La War.
Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despised thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel. Whereas thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Dash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great example towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right. And what I want to get into today, the devil at work. Okay. Control through fear. Okay. Because we're in the time now of major psyops, major enchantments. Okay. And a lot of things that we see on the media, on the news, okay, is built to destabilize the minds of the masses. Okay. Because the devil, he's able to get a lot done when people are confused, distracted, divided, and fearful. Okay, so a lot of things that we're seeing in the devil and his media, these certain events, crisis after crisis, okay, this after this, okay, is rooted to cause confusion, distraction, division, and fear. Okay, and he needs the masses in a constant state, okay, of fear, uncertainty, okay, and disorder, man. Okay, distrust, Okay, he's sabotaging these governments. He's sabotaging. He wants people to hate these governments, but he wants these people to fear these governments as well. Okay, he wants people, to distrust this economy. Okay, but he wants people enslaved to his money system as well. Okay, so this man is doing major psyops all throughout the earth, man, and especially over here on American society. Okay, so I want to get some precepts, and I got a video put up by the brother Yaquab, the Hopeful Lake 3. Subscribe to the brother channel, be informed, be up to date in the happenings. The brother's always posting, news, certain happenings, and, MOTB updates, dealing with prophecy, visions people are having. Okay, which all this is written in the scriptures to come. Okay, we in the time of prophecy speaking. Okay, while people are trying to figure out, the Most High is real. You see, as people began to question the Bible more than ever, well, prophecy is speaking more than ever. And this is the time for us as believers to be rooted more than ever. So you go to Colossians 2:6, it says, as ye have therefore received Yahushua HaMashiach the Lord, so walk ye in him. Okay, so we receive Yahushua. See, that's an honor and a privilege. It's not for everybody. It's not meant for everybody to receive Yahushua. So they're not going to see how we see. They're not going to believe how we believe. What we believe is foolish to them. And vice versa. What they believe is foolish to us. Okay? And prophecy through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai is going to show who is right. Okay? Because there is a truth. Okay? It's an uptick in everybody pushing doubt. Okay? You got atheism on the rise. Okay? Like I said, you got the enchantments of Esau on the rise. Okay? This false left-right paradigm and all these different things. Okay? All these different talking points. But there is a truth. Okay? And the Lord is going to vindicate his truth through prophecy, man. He's going to vindicate his true people through prophecy. Okay? So it's not meant for everybody to receive Yahushua or Mashiach. And the spirit of Yahushua is what? The spirit of prophecy, man. So everybody can't tap in on prophecy and believe it and move accordingly, man. Okay? So it says, as you have therefore received Yahushua Mashiach the Lord, walk ye in him. Let's get this word walk. Walk ye in Yahushua. Okay? So you go into this word walk in the Greek.
Strong's G 4043. Peripateo. Peripateo.
All right, peripateo. Okay. And it says, jump to the point, it says Hebrew for to live. You see, this is our life now. And it's strange to this world. It's supposed to be strange. This world is strange. Righteousness is strange in a wicked society. Okay? Believing in something outside this current system, what people can see, feel, and touch. Okay? It's strange. To them, we're bugged out. But vice versa to us, they're bugged out. Okay? But it's going to be through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai by bringing prophecy to pass, which is going to show who is right the whole time. Okay? It says to regulate one's life, to conduct oneself. Okay? So now we live a life that's pleasing to our power. Okay? We don't care about being pleasing to this world, the likes, the clicks, the views, the followings, the fan base. We don't live for that. We live to be pleasing to our power. The Lord has allowed us the privilege to tap into this understanding, to believe. That's a privilege to believe. That's a privilege to begin to live a life that's pleasing to our power. That's an honor and a privilege. He doesn't allow everyone to do that. Okay? So as we receive Yahushua, man, we're going to walk in Yahushua. This is our life, man. This is what we believe. We're walking towards something. Okay? Beyond this current system. Verse 7 said, rooted and built up in him and established in the faith, as ye have been taught according therein with thanksgiving. So we're being rooted and built up in Yahushua. We're being established in the faith. Because there's an uptick in doubt. It's just thing amongst Jake, what do they want to do? Everybody wants to question the Bible. They have all these different questions, about different accounts in the Bible. Okay? There's nothing but Satan pushing doubt. That's why we gotta be established in the faith. You got that, then you got Esau doing what he's doing. You know, crisis after crisis, event after event. You see, mass shooting here, ice shooting there, a war here, a bombing there, a kidnapping. You see, and it's all to destabilize the mind, to get people to be fearful, doubtful, uncertain. Okay, that's the devil main tactics. That's how he operates when people are in fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay, but while people are being more confused, we should be more. We should be becoming more established in the faith and what we believe. And the Lord got it set up so beautiful that these things that's happening, these things that are happening increases the faith of the hopeful elect, because this is what we believe. So when we see what we believe happening, okay, the scripture say he's gonna be like a madman, sparing none. So when we see this devil begins to move in that way, this increases our faith. The scriptures speak about a third world war. So when we see things that's trending towards war, it increases our faith. It establishes us more in the faith. When we see civil unrest, Egyptian against Egyptian, going into these Americans being divided and against one another, these things increase our faith. So the same thing that destabilizes someone else causes confusion, uncertainty, doubt, fear, okay, and someone else, it's establishing us in the faith, man. The Lord got this thing mapped out for the elect, all right, the hopeful elect to win. You know, it says, as you have been taught, all right, abounding therein with thanksgiving. Okay, it said, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of this world, and not after Hamashiach. Because anything outside of Yahweh is rooted in deception. Okay, atheism. Okay, what you gonna do with that in this time, man? You an atheist, you don't believe in nothing. Okay, what can you do with that? That's deception. Christianity, deception. Okay, this false left-right paradigm, liberal, conservative. Okay, whatever you into, man, it's deception. Everything outside of Yahweh is rooted in deception, man. Okay, it's vain. You see? So now we should be abounding in Yahweh, man, because prophecy is abounding in the world. And the spirit of Yahweh is the spirit of prophecy, man. This is our power doing everything he said he would do. And we're seeing it happening, man. Okay, let's go here. You know, and this is the time. That's right. Let's go. Let's get the book of Luke, chapter 6. All right, this is Luke 6 and 47. It says, whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. And this is us walking in Yahweh. We begin to live this thing. We begin to embody this book. Yahweh comes in the volume of the book. And this book is full of wisdom that can be used and applied real time right now. We can't keep the law perfectly. We do what we can. Okay, but beyond the 613 laws, man, this book is full of wisdom that gives us a perspective that we can take on real time and bring us closer to our power. The scriptures speak about how the Lord loves none but those that dwell in wisdom. Okay, the Heavenly Father, through his son Yahweh, man, hey, they love to see us operate in this wisdom, man, that they laid out for us, man. Okay, this Bible, this collection of writings is a valuable thing, you know. And at the time when this world is making mockery of it, okay, we're increasing, we're gaining favor with our power through the same book that they make mockery of, man. You know, the Lord has this thing set up beautiful for the hopeful elect, man. Okay, it says, whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. Okay, so you read on, hold on. Reading down, it says, he is like a man which built in house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. Okay, and that rock is Yahweh Shai. So within this grace period, the Lord is allowing us to set a foundation on Yahweh Shai, man. And it comes through living this thing, man, becoming like unto Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, being dead to this world and having an expectation beyond this world. See, we're building for the world to come. When we edify, it's based on the world that's to come. It's based on the age after this age. Okay, our foundation is on something sure, on something eternal. This is temporal. Everything that we see of this age is temporal, man. Anything that's people can trust in outside of Yahweh Shai is temporal. Okay, anything that our people have their hope in, their faith in, is temporal. It's not going to stand. It's not going to hold up. Okay, but what we're built on is something that is sure. Okay, verse 49 said, "But he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth." Yeah, so as our people, they've heard this word and not taking heed, even though they know that they're Israelites. Okay, you superficial Israelites, man, you're just here, okay, to play dress up. Okay, you're here to be a part of a community, to talk and gossip, and but you're truly not repentive. Okay, you're truly not putting on the elect. You truly don't have a vision beyond this current setup. Okay, according to prophecy, according to faith in the prophecy, man, because it takes faith in prophecy to have a vision beyond, okay, this current kingdom, man. Okay, but our people who have just ignored the word, or those that have heard and really have not, been rooted, and really are not being rooted during this grace period, okay, they're building on, okay, a weak foundation. So it says, but he that heareth and doeth not is like a man without a foundation built an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of that house was great. Okay, so we're finna see a lot of people buckle in these times because they have no foundation. A lot of you Israelites from the fold, like I say, if you're a Christian, you don't have any foundation in anything. You don't know what the Bible is talking about. You're an atheist. Your mind is just to rebel against the Bible. Okay, you don't have any foundation. What foundation does an atheist have? Okay, even these people that are millionaires, all right, they're finna suffer, man. Okay, the currency of this world is not a foundation that's going to stand in the judgment the Lord is finna bring. See, this judgment is of the Lord. Esau is going to be a tool. He's going to be used until he's judged. Okay, but ultimately the judgment coming from the Lord. So if you're built on anything outside of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, okay, and what he's finna bring to the earth, okay, you're on shaky ground. You see, you're on something that's destined to fail. Okay, military Esau, he can't even depend on his military, man. All that high-tech weaponry and billions and trillions of dollars that he spends a year on this military, that's not even the foundation, man, that's going to stand in these times, man. Okay, so everything that's built outside of Yahweh Shai finna fall. The only thing that's finna stand in the earth is what's built on Yahweh Shai, man. The righteous kingdom that's promised to come according to the scriptures, man. Let's go here real quick, and then I want to get that video. I think that's Psalms is it 127? Yep, there's Psalms 127 and 1. It says, except the Lord build the house. Okay, Psalms 127 and 1. They labor in vain that build it. So it's vain. Okay, you people just on the internet building up your following. Okay. You will influence, you're building something vain. You done built the following. Okay. You Jake, Jake might be an entrepreneur. Eve might be an entrepreneur. You got these businesses and these different ventures going. It's vanity. It's nothing wrong with having, revenue and income. Okay, but if you're trying to stand on it, in the times we come, if you want to rely on it, okay, is if you built something that's finna stand the judgment of the Lord, nah, man. Okay, it's vanity. It says, except the Lord build the house, it says they labor in vain that build it. And the only thing that's going to stand is the house of the elect, man, the house of David. That's what's going to stand. Those that are being spiritually built up daily, man. That's what's going to stand. Okay, it says, except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. So to know what's happening but not being built in Yahushua, then you're just watching in vain. You see, we're watching with the hope of being protected, okay, of being provided for in these times, okay, and ultimately delivered. We're not watching for the sake of hoping that this world gets better, okay, that the community comes together and makes a difference. No, we're watching because we know this place is out of here, man. It's destined for destruction. Okay, but we're watching with the hope of being delivered from what's to come. Okay, so real quick, let's go here. I'll say a quick video that the brother put up, but it's very informative. Okay, dealing with what we're seeing happen in real time. All right, so this is the brother Yaquab, the Hopeful Leg 3. Subscribe, and be informed. Baruch Shah. So yeah, this is ex-military. He's going to go into the tactics dealing with military psyops, which is psyop is short for psychological operation. Okay, which is meant to destabilize the mind of the opposing forces. Okay, it's mind manipulation, man. And this devil, Esau Edom, is the master. All right, warlock and witch, man. Okay, so let's play this.
Allow me to speak from experience for a moment. I served as a tactical psychological warfare specialist, so I was an expert on how governments and armed groups shape behavior, how fear, uncertainty, and spectacle are used to control populations. So when I say this, understand the weight behind it. What we're watching right now has the fingerprints of a classic influence operation. Highly visible raids, militarized presence, vague justifications, inconsistent messaging, saturation coverage, all designed to be seen, not just done. That's not law enforcement efficiency. That's signaling. Influence operations work by creating fear, by making people feel watched, hunted, and powerless. You don't need mass arrests. You need perception. You need communities to internalize the threat. And historically, the easiest populations to target with fear-based messaging are communities that already carry generational trauma, people of color, immigrants, and the poor. This is
the tribes. Okay, the tribes. You see? And this is a tactic of the devil. He wants you to feel powerless, man. He's getting you used to seeing federal law enforcement, okay, get away with unaliving citizens, have the full backing of the U.S. government to unalive citizens, man. Okay, he wants you in a constant state of fear and making you feel like you're hunted. Okay, so now when you see ICE, okay, you're dealing with all these circulating stories and the fear of imminent death. Okay, now you see an ICE agent, you automatically think of imminent death. This nigga got the right to kill me and I can do nothing. Okay, if I shoot it out, well, you gonna shoot it out with him? How this gonna turn out? If you're getting unalive for, okay, for minute things, then what, and then if you do get violent, that's gonna justify more force. Okay, so this devil, he's putting the masses in the trick bag. There's a snare laid. Either way you react, okay, this devil forces his agenda. If you don't do nothing, he just gonna keep enforcing his agenda. If you do something, he's just gonna tighten down, okay, on force. Okay, if you don't do anything, he's just gonna keep rolling out this new world order system. Okay, if you do react, okay, he's gonna up the ante with his force, man. Okay, so there's a snare being laid for the masses, and the whole time, all right, your mind is being destabilized. Okay, conflicting stories. You're constantly seeing, these cities become militarized. Okay, you're hearing the government, and it's supposed to look like it's injustice. Okay, it's supposed to look like injustice. Okay, to show you that they can do what they want. That's what they're signaling to you people. Look, we do what we want. Okay, that's the message that they're conveying. You see, they trying to make it sound, technical by the law and this, but ultimately what they're signaling to the masses is we do what we want. Okay, we enforce what we want to enforce. Okay, so let's play this some more.
It isn't about public safety. If it were, operations would be precise, boring, and quiet. This is about intimidation. It's about conditioning behavior through anxiety. It's about reminding people who holds the power. I've seen this playbook overseas. I've helped counter it. And I never thought I'd see elements of it deployed at home. You don't need to agree with me politically to recognize a psychological operation when it's unfolding in plain sight. A free society does not require fear to function. A constitutional government does not rule by intimidation. And no one should be asked to surrender one constitutional right to exercise another. The moment fear becomes the tool of governance, everyone loses, not just the people it's aimed at first.
And he said that he's seen this tactic overseas. And see, the thing that the American government has been doing throughout the earth, terrorizing, civilians. Because this is nothing new. The American military specializes at terrorizing civilians. Okay, now they're just bringing the show back to the house, man. Okay, what they do globally, they're bringing it back here. Okay, all these psychological operations that they use on these other nations, and even with Gaza, all right, the IDF was using what? Palantir. Okay, certain data software and technology, okay, to target exactly who they want to target. Certain demographics, okay, they know what Jake is concentrated at. They know down to people, certain people, so they were using Palantir, all right, to track and find over there in Gaza. Now ICE is linked with Palantir. Okay, and all this devil is doing, he's training this AI to police the masses, man. Okay, this devil's agenda is to have AI as your law enforcement. Okay, let's go from there. Let's get this just a quick Google lookup, dealing with how fear is used for control. All right, so I just looked up fear as a tool for control. Okay, so you go to the AI overview. It says using fear to control involves manipulating people, all right, innate threat responses to influence behavior, often by exaggerating dangers and presenting oneself as the sole solution. Okay, using fear to control involves manipulating people's innate threat response to influence behavior, often by exaggerating dangers and presenting oneself as the sole solution. And that's what this devil has mastered, man. You see, this devil knows how to trigger fear, okay? Because when you jump down, and we're going to go to FUD tactics, okay? When you jump down, All right. When someone is fearful, there's a certain instinct. Okay. Because when you go into fear, you go into survival mode. All right. So it said how it works. It said exploits instinct. Fear triggers primitive brain areas, overriding rational thought, prefrontal cortex. Okay. So this devil shuts down your prefrontal cortex, which is the area of your brain responsible for rational thinking. Okay. And puts you in the state of fear, what makes you primitive. Okay. And what do you do? Making people seek quick group-based safety. Making people seek quick group-based safety, man. Okay, so this is nothing but the order out of chaos formula, man. Because the chaos creates what? The fear. Okay, it shuts down your rational thinking. Okay, now you just want a quick solution to the current situation, and that's going to be this new world order, this system, this MOTB, the micro C hub. He's going to present that, okay, as group safety, a quick fix. Okay, it says offer simple solutions. It said leaders create fear examples of opponents, crisis. Okay, so he always has to create a boogeyman. He always has to create a crisis. Okay, and then offer themselves or their ideology as the only way to resolve it, fostering reliance. Okay, he's prepping people to rely on him. Okay, as a deliverer. Okay, so he's creating these different opponents, these villains. He's creating these crises. Okay, but he already has a plan what he wants to bring as a solution, man. Okay, problem, reaction, solution, man. That's the formula. You see, this the purpose of psyops. Okay, so psychologically, when you go down and say uses FUD. Now, what is FUD? It says the tactic: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay, and this is what he wants: fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay, the job market, you know, that's why they make it make sure that they announce that they're firing 40,000 people. Just hearing these numbers, then they hear AI is going to be smarter than AI is going to replace. They're intentionally telling you that, AI will be smarter than everybody in 3 months. People are going to be like house pets to AI. So they're telling you this. You got ICE, you got, war with Iran on the horizon. Okay. What they going to do with Greenland. You see, ICE unaliving somebody every week, every other day, every other month. However, all this is to create fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay. It's just, saturating you with different crises and events. You can't even, by the time you comprehend, you begin to almost comprehend one thing, is on to the next. Okay. And it's the FUD tactic, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But see, the Bible is the exact opposite. The Bible gives us hope, faith, and stability, man. You see, the Bible gives us the exact opposite, because these things that this devil is doing, the Bible tells us, man. So understanding the Bible, okay, the scriptures itself is combating this devil's psyops, man. Being rooted and having the understanding in these scriptures, okay, is stabilizing us in the time of this devil destabilizing everybody, man. Being rooted in understanding, as we're going to get, okay. So I'm gonna get this. It says, the tactic, fear, uncertainty, and doubt spreads negative or false information to manipulate perceptions, common in tech, public relations, and politics, man. And this is what we're seeing. This devil is pushing this tactic to the max. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It says drives behavior. It's a powerful motivator effective in campaigns to drive votes or encourage compliance, as seen, okay, during, all right, the C-19, the pandemic, or in military strategy, man. All right, and your government, all right, news flash for you Americans, man. Your government is at war with you, man. Okay, your government is at all-out war, all right, with you as a people. Okay, and what you're going through is just non-stop psychological warfare to soften you up. Okay, to comply. Okay, psychological warfare to soften you people up for compliance, man. So let's go here. Let's get a few more precepts. Okay, now, precepts that we, read over and over, starting to make more and more sense. And that's one thing about the Bible. As people are being more confused, we're getting more clarity, man. Call Allah Yamla Yahweh Shema Shai. As people are becoming more confused, we're getting more clarity, man. Okay. Isaiah 33:6, it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Okay, so wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, man. We're being stabilized by wisdom and knowledge. Okay, and what wisdom and knowledge? The wisdom and knowledge of the scriptures. So as people are being destabilized, confused, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, okay, by the information they're getting, well, we're being stabilized and established by what we believe, and constantly going into the scriptures, man, constantly watching, praying, reporting. We're being stabilized for these times, man. We're being rooted in Yahweh Shai and their rock. Okay, so let's go here. I'm gonna get this in the AMP, and we can get ready to close it out. This is Ephesians 6. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and verse 10. This is an AMP. It says, "In conclusion, be strong in the Lord, draw your strength from him, and be empowered through your union with him." And this is our strength. Okay, our strength isn't in the money we have. Okay, money is a tool, it's a defense, but that's not our strength. Okay, our strength is not in the weaponry of this world, carnal weaponry, the guns and being tactical. You got ISUPK, okay, Mortal Kombat training. You see, MMA. Like, come on, man. Okay, that's not our strength, man. All right, and it says, "And in the power of his boundless might." See, we've tapped into something that doesn't have a limit. See, the power of the Most High is not limited. The provisions of the Most High is not limited. The wisdom of the Most High is not limited. His protection is not limited, man. Anything outside of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is limited and guaranteed to fail. Okay, so we in the time, we're going to cleave to our power going into these times, man. Ephesians 6:11 said, "Put on the full armor of the Most High, for his precepts are like the splendid armor of a heavily armed soldier." Okay, so we're armored in the spirit. See, we have a covering that's not of this world. Okay, they can't be penetrated, man. You see, so that ye may be able to successfully stand against all the schemes and strategies and deceits of the devil, man. And he's finna come with it. This devil finna come with everything. Okay, it's gonna be more psyops, more crisis, more enchantments, more AI and misinformation and false flags, and it's gonna be more of these things, man. Okay, but we're gonna stay rooted in Yahweh Shai. We're gonna stick to the script. We're gonna stay close to the scriptures, man. Okay, because it's gonna be a bunch of narratives all over the place, man. Okay, that's gonna destabilize the minds of the masses. Okay, and set them up for compliance, which is ultimately failure. Okay, so that's the point. Just wanted to get into that. Lord will, you brothers are right there, you sisters edified. Till next time I say shalom. Kwam Yashala, Abba, Shalom.